What is going on, Colts Nation? Welcome back to another episode of Bring the Juice. Well, guys, here we are, day number 2 for the Indianapolis Colts, here ahead of training camp practice that will be happening here coming up today at Grand Park. So, with that being said, I wanted to take a second and talk about this quarterback competition. You know, we saw there on Wednesday, day number 1. It was fairly even in terms of the snap count. Anthony Richardson getting a little bit more. Daniel Jones starting out, but Richardson ended up with a little bit more of the reps. And a little bit surprising considering the fact that the Colts talking about how there may need to be a little bit of limitation on Richardson early due to that shoulder soreness that he suffered earlier in the spring. But when you look at it overall, I mean, it's fairly even at the point right now, right? And we heard some rumblings, earlier that Daniel Jones had a significant lead over Anthony Richardson going into the quarterback competition into training camp. But at least on Monday, it didn't seem like that was the case. Anthony Richardson took more snaps than Daniel Jones, and Shane Steichen said it's going to flip-flop likely on Thursday. So we'll have to see if that is indeed the case. But when you kind of look at it overall, I mean, it was very similar in terms of the stuff on the 11 on 11s. Anthony Richardson was 4 of 11 passing the football and had 3 drops. So if you want to take those away, then he was 4 of 8 passing. And you saw some issues with, some accuracy, some timing, some of those things. Pass catchers certainly weren't helpful there. And then when you look at Daniel Jones, he was 6 of 8. He had an interception as well, but also had some nice throws to, one specifically, a beautiful back shoulder throw to Anthony Gould. So overall, it does seem like it's fairly even right now. And I guess that kind of poses the question, okay, it's still fairly even. Does somebody at some point clearly separate themselves as that quarterback number 1? I mean, both these quarterbacks notoriously struggled a season ago. Both these quarterbacks definitely have their issues for sure. So does somebody here kind of start to take a stranglehold in the next couple of weeks leading up to preseason, leading up to the regular season? Does anybody truly separate themselves from the other? Or is it going to kind of be very similar where, it's, okay, Richardson has the majority of snaps this day. All right, Daniel Jones the next day. Like, will that eventually change to where it's Anthony Richardson getting 70% of the starting reps or Daniel Jones getting 70% of the starting reps? Like, when will that change, or will it change? And if it's still kind of neck and neck, what will the Colts do? Will it be Anthony Richardson, who, this is really his last chance, or Daniel Jones, who you didn't pay cheaply to? You gave him a pretty substantial contract to come to Indianapolis to compete. So there are so many questions when it comes to that. But all this to say, somebody needs to do that. Somebody clearly needs to separate themselves from the other. That's just a reality of it. Now, who will do it, we'll have to see. Both these quarterbacks have definitely some big issues when it comes to throwing the football. There's no debate about that. But as the days and the weeks go on, will somebody separate themselves? We will have to see. But it's going to take a lot for somebody to do that, because right now, at least through day 1, these guys continue to be pretty neck and neck when it comes to that. And we'll see kind of as it goes along, do those reps and the amount of reps for the starters, between Daniel Jones and Anthony Richardson, do those start to change and lean towards one or the other direction at some point? So that's kind of what I'm looking for here, for somebody to really start to separate themselves and say, hey, I am the guy to lead this franchise in 2025 as a starting quarterback. And who will that be? So let me know your thoughts, guys, in the comments down below. Who do you think will win the starting quarterback position? Again, it's still very early into training camp, so there is still a lot that needs to happen and will happen when it comes to this competition and a lot of other competitions as well on this roster. But quarterback's going to be the one that we're going to talk about. It's the one that everybody is highlighting. So just wanted to bring that to you guys. That's kind of what I'm looking for here going into day 2 and moving forward. Which quarterback separates themselves, and do either guys do that? And if not, what's the decision then from the Colts whenever we get into preseason, and then eventually in September when you play the Miami Dolphins at home in week number 1. So let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Hey, if you haven't already, be sure to hit that like button. Be sure to hit subscribe. Be sure to turn on the notification bell. I know some people were saying they don't always get the notifications, or maybe they get them a little bit late. So if you guys would do me a favor and hit that notification bell so that you get those notifications, hopefully it'll get back to, reality, and hopefully it'll get back to being a little bit better from a timing standpoint. But let me know your guys' thoughts. Like I said, that'll do it for this one, guys. Thanks so much. And as always, go Colts.